My last chick always called me an a-hole. Called me a born sinner, kinda sorta like J. Cole. I see the anger in the face, yo. Instead of chasing her, I'm out chasing the pesos. Listen, she was never ever my focus. Girls talk the good.
Hey, how you doing? This is Kareem Williams, just sitting here, maxing and relaxing out here in Arizona. Just got done an awesome interview with Lady Shack. She is the CEO of the Salute the DJ Awards, which will be going on January 14th. It was an honor talking to her. I have another superstar lady on the line with me as of right now. This lady is the premier person for videos and movies, I believe, in pretty much New York and the tri-state area. I've known a couple people that she's worked with. She's worked with L'Oreal. She's worked with the homie Tone Trump. She's just doing some significant things behind the camera, directing, producing, and it's just as awesome to see, African-American female on that side of the field making things happen, competing at a high level. And when I say competing at a high level, she probably smashing, destroying half of the big time producers out there that are making videos on a high budget level. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Is my special caller on the line?
Hello?
Hello?
That was the most full intro I've ever had for any interview that I've ever had. I thought I was going to walk out and get an award just now. How are you? This is Taya Simmons.
I am wonderful.
How are you? You good? Can you hear me? Is there a delay?
Now it's not a delay, but it was a little bit ago. We all good, though. We all
right,
good.
Cool. No, but seriously, that was the greatest intro I've ever had. I would like to take you on the road with me from now on, so that whenever I come to set, you take that same speech. I loved it. No, but I'm seriously humbled. It's really dope. That's really dope. Thanks.
You're welcome. But hey, I just like to keep it real. It is what it is. I've been seeing a lot of your work from your video with L'Oreal, pretty. To what you just dropped today with the homie Tone Trump. It's funny because I just interviewed Tone about like a week ago. I think I just dropped that interview a couple of days ago. So it's like full circle comes around. Like it's a very small industry. You know what I mean?
Right. I gotta let them know that. That's pretty dope. Yeah. So I'm glad, and you're up on it. You already know that we dropped something. That's who done their homework and I appreciate it.
Hey, you got to respect the person that you're interviewing, and if you don't do homework, then, you're not respecting the person that you're looking to interview.
Gotcha. Well, I can't argue with that.
So, before we jump into these questions, for the people on the line that don't know you, because I do a variety of videos. I've interviewed people from Kelly Price to Mimi Faust to the former Kardashian nanny. Let them know who you are, what you're doing, why you do it. I think I kind of took care of that, but they want to hear it from you.
You definitely did. I'm gonna do a horrible job right now. So bad at promoting myself, but my name is Taya Simmons. I am a director. I don't call myself a female director. I'm just a director because I'm dope in that aspect. Period. I think that the major thing that sets me apart from a lot of people is just that I'm not even going to say from a lot of people because some people do have the same vision, but I do care about every part of the process from, producing it to the edit to the production date. We really care, here. And another thing about me is that I love film. I'm in love with it ever since I was introduced to it, when I went to school. So I appreciate every aspect of film, and I think that's what sets us apart from a lot of the other people out there who not necessarily don't. Because there are directors who do, but not no shade. Get shot by a girl, by the way. So I'm a director out here. I have a production company, a great staff, offices in Brooklyn and Staten Island, and we have a studio. We do move a whole bunch of things, and we just like to push the envelope.
Oh, so awesome. You know, one thing I've seen from you that I don't see from a lot of other directors is I've seen that you actually promote your work. You actually promote the videos that the artists do on, you know, Instagram and Twitter. And I think that's very, very important because a lot of times a lot of artists get these videos done and they deal with people of a higher level to tap into their fan base. But they don't get to tap into their fan base because the director or nobody doesn't promote it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's
Another
crazy.
thing that's the part. We kind of like any client that comes to us, we look at you as a client. No matter how big and how small you are, you're going to get the same treatment that we would for anything. So especially if the project came out dope, I have no problem, and if the music is dope, I have no problem promoting that, like, at all. Like, I mean, it's our work. And that just goes to show, like, I feel like if other directors, not naming names, but if other directors really felt they did a dope job for these, I would say, the up and coming clients, then they would promote it too. But a lot of times, what happens is people will look at the up and coming clients as just a check, and we definitely don't. Like, you know, I care. Like I said, I care about everything that comes across that table. If they care about it, I care about it. So I think that it's only right to help them promote it in any way, and it's promoting our work at the end of the day. At the end of the day, when they come to set, when we come up with these ideas, it's to do something beautiful and amazing. So when it's done, we want to promote it. We want people to see it. It's not, you know, it's not like they just came in and we're like, oh, good, we got them. Go, you know, let's put it out. No, we definitely want to make amazing work, or we do make amazing work for everybody who comes across our paths. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, let's jump into these questions. We got 10 questions for you. I want to get through them as quickly as possible because I know you're a very, 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 very busy woman. Taya, you are a director, an editor, and producer of videos. How did you get into this profession, and who are some directors that you look up to?
Well, I discovered film at the University of North Carolina. I am a Tar Heel, proud Tar Heel, and I found it by mistake. It was one of those things where I just took a class, and I knew right away from that first class that that's what I wanted to do. When I first started, I thought I just wanted to edit. I was into editing. I was an editor. I didn't really want to be a director. I didn't want to talk to people. I'm very kind of introverted, you know, when it comes to those things, but directing just came a little bit naturally to me later in life, you know, when I graduated and stuff. So I graduated, I worked in TV for a while, I did, you know, commercials, and I was an editor for commercials, a producer for commercials for a company called In Demand, and then they had layoffs in 2008. And from then on, I was just like, you know what, I never tried to get a corporate job again. I freelanced for a while, and then I started my company maybe about 2 years later, and I've been doing that ever since. And as far as my favorite directors, I mean, I love the classics like the Scorsese's, the Spielbergs. These are the people that I look up to. Quentin Tarantino, Spike Lee. Those are the premier people, the people who I aspire to be. Those are the people that I really look up to, you know. There's a kid named Colin Tilley that I really adore and just think he's just amazingly dope. I think he's based out there in California, but he's young, maybe 24 or so, and killing the game. Like, people like that, people who are pushing visuals, doing different things, that's what I like. But especially the classics. If you're going to be inspired by anybody, you got to look for the people who paved the way and try to beat them. Of course, the Hype Williamses, like, I'm really trying to set the bar there. Like, I'm looking like, how can I compete with them? How can I compete with Hype Williams, somebody that I respect? You know, I don't really compete with anybody, you know, on my level or even close. Just because that's not going to get you anywhere, you know what I mean? I try to make every project better than the last. I compete with myself, and I aspire to be like those directors that I named.
Okay, awesome. It's funny because we great minds think alike. I think the same way. I'm starting up my own entertainment blog called RealEntertainmentNews.com because I do so many interviews a week with so many different celebrities, so many different genres. And I'm always sitting there thinking, like, how can I compete with Gossip.com? How can I compete with Nicole Richie? How can I compete with Perez Hilton, but not be able to bring the drama and being able to bring real people speaking the drama because they want to speak it, not because I alleged or something like that. You know what I mean? And I think that's what the marketplace needs. I mean, I think that if it's going to be drama, if it's going to be stuff as that nature, let it come from that person's mouth. So you don't say it. You know what I mean? That makes sense. I think that makes sense. So awesome. Cool. What are the pros and cons of running a production company, and what are the pros and cons of being a female that shoots and directs videos, movies, and stuff?
I would say there's pretty much more pros than cons when having your own business. I mean, if you're conducting it well and if things are going well, I think that the pros of having your own business, period, is that, you know, when things are good, they're really good and it's all on you. I think that when the bad part is when things aren't so good, it's all on you. So I guess it's just a real balance. I mean, I like being in control of what I'm doing, and I love being the head of a big creative, you know, organization, and I love, you know, helping people bring their visions to life and seeing them light up when they see it come to pass. Like, those are the great feelings about running a great production company. And then the pros and cons about being a girl in this industry. I mean, I haven't really faced anything negative, I would say, from, you know, males as far as accepting me into this industry. I think one thing that it does do is being female does set me apart. And it's not just because I'm female, it's because I'm female and I'm dope. So that part, you know, has been a positive thing for me because, you know, I get to stand amongst all these males on a seat and be represented for the women, and pretty darn well, if I say myself. As far as the negatives of being a woman, I think the only time that I've experienced any negatives was when it comes down to negotiating the business deals. I think that being a woman, people think they can get over on you, they can say certain things to you that I know they wouldn't say to half of these men, and I just send them on their way packing. Like, that's not going to go down. This is what we cost. This is what you're going to do, and that's it. And just being able to be firm in that and know who you are, know what you're worth. Those are the things that, you know, that come with being a woman in this industry. And I take it on.
It's funny, I interview a lot of models, and I get a lot of models that say the same thing when it comes down to negotiating. That's when they have a lot of their problems, and they have to be, you know, stern and firm on what they believe and what they want. And I think, you know, being that way is it's very, 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 very important and very, very, very beneficial for the person who's being stern, because, you know, you don't want to be taken advantage of or even have that out in the marketplace like she's easy to take advantage of. You know, you can get over on her. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. And then once you let one person in, then the next person is going to try to do the same thing. You have to set a standard across the board that everybody understands this is what it is. You know, and that's how you get down. And that's it. And then your reputation is established. So then you know from that point on that, you know, for the most part, everybody who approaches you is about business and they understand what your business is, and you won't be wasting your time. Although there are a lot of people, pet peeves, who waste my time, and it kills me. It kills me. So, you know, one thing I want to put out there as a con in owning a production company is just filtering through the people who are actually serious and ready to go versus the people who are just, you know, not very serious and this could be it or it could not be it. You know what I mean? That's the issue that I have, and it's just not knowing who's serious, who's really going to book, who's ready to move forward with these visuals. I think that is my biggest issue.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people, we just live in a bullshitting society where there's more bullshitters than people that are ready to take action. But when you get those people that are ready to take action, boy, they really take action. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got a client now that has booked maybe 4 things. He was on a shoot with us, and he was booking stuff with me while we were on that shoot. Like, just like, all right, what can you do? And I like that. And I'm not saying that everybody has to have the money and be ready now. I'm just saying call me when you're ready to move forward. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind somebody hitting me up to find out what the process is and how much it costs. I don't mind that. But don't have us start the process of writing treatments and researching and doing all this and then tell us, oh, I don't have. No. Hit me when you're ready. That's the only thing I ask. I'm here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think I actually told somebody that today, like doing some for another business that I have. You know, they called me, asked me all these questions. I'm like, look, when you're ready and you have the money in hand, then come talk to me. I'll answer all your questions. But other than that, I can go do something else. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can go deal with a client that's ready to pay. It is nothing personal. It's just business. You know?
Right. Right. Especially being an entrepreneur, your time is money. Time is money. It is so true, because the time you're spending on something that is not going to come to fruition, you could be spending it on something that is. So, So I think we all go through it, though.
Awesome. What is the process of picking a client that you want to work with, and what would be the reason that you would turn a client down?
Okay, well, picking a client, I don't really, at this point, at this stage, I don't really choose the clients that I want to work at. I mean, sometimes I come across people, like there's a talented young lady named Leah Robinson, who I came across on Instagram a few times, and I just thought she was dope, so I reached out to her. I liked her work ethic. I thought she was very talented. She seemed very sweet and humble, and that made me reach out to her to say, yo, you want to do something, hit me up, blah, 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 and then that blossomed into a relationship that is reality show is coming out of it. So I think that when I see other people who are making moves, who are not begging for things for free and who are just doing things on their own, that I naturally would gravitate towards people like that. I mean, I think that's for anybody. So that if I did reach out to someone, that would be a reason. But I normally don't. We get contacted by people so much, like get so many emails requesting things and all that stuff. And I think the only reason I would say no to anything is if I didn't believe in the project. So if I heard the song and I didn't want the person to waste their money, I would basically tell them straight up, maybe this isn't a project for you. Do you have other music? Blah blah blah. But it's just a little painful sometimes to listen to something that you feel. I mean, and this is not to say anything, because my opinion doesn't really mean anything if somebody believes in themselves. But it's painful to have to go through that process and to take someone's money when you really don't believe in that particular project or whatever. So I would say if I really didn't believe that a project had legs, and I couldn't see myself, like, I'm so visual that if it's too hard from the start, I can't do it. So if I listen to something and it's horrible and it doesn't take me anywhere visually in my creative mind, I can't do it. You know what I mean? It would be too painful to put together and then have to listen to it and then research and then shoot it and then edit it. It's going to come out horrible because I'm not going to love it. And normally I like to love something. Like if I either like it or I really love it. So if you're not in between that, then I can't do anything. So I think that's the only thing that would keep me from working with someone. Or if they were just obnoxious and just hard to work with, I wouldn't work with them either. You know what I mean? So it's like certain things, you just got to be in a good creative space. You can't have somebody breathing down your neck. You can't have somebody annoying or just too controlling. It's just like, So I guess those are the things. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever sat with a person and be like, I know we really want to work together. I want to come in on the creative process of maybe even the studio process and give my outlook on maybe listening to the beat and saying, how about you tell a story on this because I got a good vision for this story. Can you create this story over this track so I can create the visual for it? Is there any of that going on within your company or with people musicians that you know? Or I know that's kind of like far-fetched, but I think that would be something amazing if you was to do something like that, right?
Right. Well, yeah. There's actually, and he's actually in my text messages right now. Somebody I'm working on another sort of movie/video thing with, and it's about love. And he had a bunch of tracks, and we were sort of telling these stories, and some of the stories didn't connect. So I did go to him and said, well, what if we had a song that was this? Can you create that so that we can tell that story? I mean, but other than that, I think the times when I would do that is with my really close clients, like people or even my friends that, I'm close with and that I work with. That's when you feel comfortable enough to say something like that, because artists are artists, you know what I mean? So you don't want to offend. Yeah. But I would go to a Tone Trump and say, hey, why don't you, what if we did this? Why don't you try that? But at the same time, you just got to give people their freedom. But I have done it before. I mean, but for the most part, people, you can create whatever you want. Honestly, just by finding the right track. Most of these artists have so much music that you can create whatever your vision is in one of those songs some way anyway. You just got to be a little creative on how to make that happen. But yeah. And can I say,
that's cool.
I want to say something else. I want to toot your horn one more time. I have done a million interviews. I'm lying. Okay, a million is a lot, but I've done a lot of interviews, and I get asked the same exact questions every interview, and not to say anything about these other journalists, but I literally had a template that I could just copy and paste and send it to them, and it will work for each and every interview. And I'm so proud of you because, like, none of these questions, well, some of them, where you're from, how you started, things like that. But other than that, like, the questions are pretty detailed and different and thought of, and I appreciate that. So just know that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. That's one thing I pride myself on is being able to ask a question that has before, ask it in such a detailed way that the audience hasn't heard it from that perspective. Because for me, it's more of a conversation than an interview. I don't want to interview you. I want to have a conversation with you, and I want to be able to ask things that not everybody is going to ask. That's the only thing that can really, really separate me from what's out there in the marketplace now, and how to be able to compete with a what's her name, the chick, Ellen and those type of people, to be able to compete on their level is to be able to bring something different to them. You know what I mean?
Right. That's how you're going to stand out. If you're doing what everybody else is doing, you're not going to stand out. So I appreciate it, and I did notice when I started hearing the questions and when I read them. So great.
Awesome. So next question I have here for you is you established your production company in October of 2008. What are some major differences from that time in the marketplace to now in the marketplace?
Gotcha.
And what are some of the adjustments?
I mean, I'm just going to go off generally. I mean, I think 2008 is when we started to go in sort of this economic depression or whatever. I really wasn't hit with it then because that 2008 is when I just started. I was freelancing at a couple different companies at the time, so I hadn't really had my hand in, working with clients out there, the way that I'm doing now. But I'm going to assume that it was a little better than how it's moving now. But what I have learned is that if you're dope, people will find a way to pay for what they want. If they really believe in what you can do, they'll find a way, no matter what it costs. So, and then again, we struggle with this as well because we understand what people can afford and things like that, but we also know what it takes to create on this level. So it's been a little bit of give and take on our parts, but for the most part, we're pretty much, we have our standard base, and that's where we sit, and we don't really budge from there. But if we see people need a little help and we believe in the project, we might, help them a little bit, but we don't do it a lot. But I like I said, I can't really say what the market, because I wasn't into it the way that I am now. I was still freelancing at major companies at that point and just establishing the brand. from then to now. But I will assume that it was probably a little bit better. I feel like it's getting better now. I feel like we're moving toward a better, stable economy. I mean, I don't know. I've been going through the same things that I went through, from when I started. So I can't really say, I've been affected.
Yeah,
People are still
absolutely. I'm sorry, ladies first. I'm a gentleman sometimes.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was just saying people are still dreaming. So as long as there's still people dreaming and wanting to do beautiful things, then I'm gonna be okay. So.
Yeah, absolutely. As we said earlier, you worked on a lot of videos with Love and Hip Hop's L'Oreal. How did her project come about, and how did you guys meet? And also, how was it working with L'Oreal? I personally think that she's by far the hottest female in New York City when it comes to lyrics, period. Like, I don't think nobody's touching her.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion.
I love L'Oreal. I definitely feel the same way. I felt that way from the first time I heard her tracks, and she was sending things over to me. I mean, I will admit I was a little thrown off from the voice at first, but when you get past that and you start to listen, she's just fucking dope. Like, what? I don't know. She hit me on most of my clients. They either come from Twitter or they hit me in my email, but she hit me on Twitter. She told me she had heard some things, and that was great. And she went to work, and then I heard the work, and it just went from there. You know what I mean? I think we had a great connection. I always try to be very creative with what I put out for her, and she just gave me basically creative realm to do whatever the hell I wanted to do, and I love that. I really enjoyed it. I think that she's super dope. She is very about her business. She's fly as hell. She's just a really dope lyricist. She's very sweet, and I just think she's dope. And I look forward to doing more with her and her whole team. OTL. I mean, I did something with somebody else off of her label. This gang project, and I think that pretty much everybody who's coming from that label, they just they're on point. So they have a nice movement, and I pray for nothing but great things for her, because I do, like you said, I think who's touching her right now, like, she's dope. Like, I don't understand. So it's something I was very surprised, because I think she's amazing.
Now they're actually signing with Rich Dollaz and Yandy Smith, right? At their record label? Or is it OTL a whole different label?
I don't know what's going on with that. I honestly have no information on where she's signing and things like that. I do know that they're working on another mixtape and trying to get that stuff together. But that's as far as my knowledge goes as to where they're going and what they're doing.
Okay. Cool.
Moving
on.
My girl. I don't really know much about Rich Dollaz, but Yandy's my girl. So anything with Yandy would be a great thing, because she's a hustler, she's a woman, she's empowered. I love her, so that's dope.
The funniest thing is that the New York scene, New York to an outsider, it seems so big, which it is big. New York is a big city, but the industry is just so small. It's like everybody knows each other. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. It's just like super, super crazy. I'm pretty sure if you went through all of the people that I know and that you know, we probably know 15, 20 people that we both know the same. You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's crazy.
Relationships are very important. They're super important, especially in this industry. And I think if you're just a good person overall, you ain't got nothing to worry about. You're gonna be honest with everybody, treat everybody like you want to be treated, and then everything comes full circle. So you won't hear anything bad about me or my team, and we won't hear anything bad about you if you guys didn't do anything. You know what I mean? So it is a small world. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I got like 2 or 3 more questions for you. What are the 3 key things you would need to make a video really pop off? And do you help which we already know you already do that, so you answered that question already. So it's just, what are the 3 key things that would need to be in place to make a video really, really pop off?
The song needs to be amazing. The song and the video need to coexist properly. They need to go together and just be one. So first you got to start off with an amazing whatever body of work, whatever that a track, whatever you're doing. That needs to be amazing. Then the visual must complement it equally, and they must work together. The visual has to be different. It has to be daring. It just has to be different. It can't be what you see all the time, or otherwise it will just, fall to the wayside. Like everything else. Like you can't do a corner store video. Well, you could do a corner store video if you were doing something differently. And then the production value behind it. The third thing is the production value behind it would have to be amazing. Too. Like any project you do, the production value has to be there. Like you have to have a great cinematographer. You got to have a great camera op. The direction has to be on point. Your shot list, composition, everything needs to be on point. And then and then like I said, the video's idea and the creative behind it needs to be something that's going to evoke a thought or is going to grab attention in some way, that kind of thing, and then you got to have a great song. So those are the things that I think you definitely need. These kids, I'm actually trying to look it up now. They did, you probably saw it, they did Friday's remake video. I don't know if you saw it, but the video was so amazing that that it became one of my favorite videos.
Wow.
And if I could, I would send it to you. Jesus, the Friday remake music video. Give me a second. I think I could pull it up. They just did such a great job. I can't find it right now, but I'll text it to you if I find it. But anyway, they did it Friday, the movie over for the music video, and then the what's his name? Nem Perez, I believe that's the director's name. I want to say. He did such an amazing, dope thing, and that it made me like the song. It made me want to know who those kids were. I mean, those are the things that I think you need.
Yeah. It's funny. It's one thing that you said a little earlier about giving the director, kind of control and being able to sit there with the director and kind of come up with the ideas. I just released the album called My Views in August, and I shot 2 videos for 2 songs. That's definitely what I did. Sat down with the director and was like, okay, this is what I want. What are your ideas for what you hear in the song? Because the funniest thing is that the director can hear one thing and you can hear another thing, but the director is the person that is going to bring the vision to life. You know what I mean? So do you think it's very important to be able to really, really be able to sit down and mesh together? Or do you like it when you just are given full control?
I like a little bit of both, honestly. I love when an artist already has an idea of where he wants to go, but I don't want to hear it at first. I want to go listen to the song myself and then come to the table and say, okay, what were your ideas? And then listen to them and then tell them my ideas. Like, I don't want to be influenced by anything that they have already going. I like when an artist has an idea, like I said, already in place. Because it's also cool, sometimes you come together with the artist and you realize that both of you are on the same page. Sometimes I like to hear the idea just so I can push it a little further. Like, they may see a club video and then I'll say, okay, what if we were in a typical club? Well, what if we were in a barn? What if we were in a cabin somewhere? What if that? You know what I mean? You just push them outside of their comfort zone, and you come up with some really great stuff.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah, I like a combination that you want to give the ideas to get. It's not just to put my vision out there. It's to give the client what they want. And if you feel like they don't know what they want, then convincing them that this is what they need, and then executing it, And I just found it. It's the name of the group is called Audio Push, and Nem Perez directed it. It's just an amazing video. They did a great job.
Okay, I gotta make sure I definitely check that out. What are some other business ventures you have coming down the pipeline outside of film directing and video directing?
hmm Well, film is something that we haven't really explored much. I mean, I do, like when I shoot some of these videos, of course we have narrative in it. So we toyed with a lot of narrative and stuff like that. But I think this Total Trump project that we're working on, West Side Story, is our first official film. So actually delving into that and finally getting into that scene is great. I think we want to do more commercial work this season, especially next year. I mean, it's a different world. It's a different client. It's definitely different money. And then also the reality shows are something that we're really pushing right now as well. We're working on about 3 different ones that we're pitching to networks. So that is what's on our plate, coming up. So aside from the music videos, which we love, definitely get into the film, more films, definitely into commercials, and then pushing off these reality shows is really big for us at this point.
Now with reality shows, it's funny because you said pushing reality shows. When a reality show is created, it's created by a production company, and then the production company shops it to the major networks. Is not the...
It depends. Like a smaller production company like mine could create something and then pitch it to a bigger production company. That's what my partner did. My partner, he had a reality show, and he pitched it to a larger production company, and they are in negotiations to buy it from him, and then they'll pitch it to a network. You know what I mean? So it's different ways you can go about it. If you don't have the actual connection to that particular network, you probably would go through a bigger company to do so. But if you do have the connections, like we're working on something else and we're going to take it directly to Revolt or people that we know, who are affiliated with Revolt, then you just do it that way. So I think it's a little bit of both. So you just use what you want, If somebody wants to put money toward, something and make it bigger than what we've already have, we're open to that. But if we have something where we could just cut the middleman and just go straight to, then that's what we want to do as well,
Absolutely, absolutely. And the last question I have here for you is, what is your mission statement, and where do you see your brand and career in the next 5 years?
Well, that's a question. In 5 years, I would like my company to be one of those bigger production companies. I would like to have had at least 3 or 4 big films out in the Tribecas and the Sundances, and even, probably a major distribution somewhere. We would be one of the premier agencies to come to for your commercials and your brands. We will be working hand in hand with labels, with all the major labels, with larger artists, not saying I don't love my indie artists. I definitely love them, but just with we're just being in that realm with the larger artists, definitely. And as far as the mission statement goes, I mean, it's get shot by a girl all day, and that's just about pushing creative, not being afraid, and really having the knowledge of film. I think the one thing that I would love people, I don't care who does it. I don't have a problem with everybody running around with a camera calling a director. I have a problem with everybody running around calling themselves a director and not having the knowledge behind it. And I'm not saying you got to go to school, but go read the books, find out the basics, research the classics. Like the mission statement behind my company would be is to love what you do by knowing what you do, and it'll come across. And of course, get shot by a girl all day.
Awesome. Well, listen, before we let you go, let the people know, where they can connect with you at, your social medias, whatever you got going on, promote yourself, because that's what this interview is for.
Absolutely. Well, everything is Taya Simmons, and I'm definitely on every sort of social networking thing you can think of, from LinkedIn to Instagram. I think Instagram is probably the biggest place that I am right now, and Twitter, and everything, like I said, is Taya Simmons. Taya Simmons on Facebook, Taya Simmons. Get Shot by Girls, my fan page on Facebook, and then you can, if you want to find out more information about how to get your videos, other than hitting me on Twitter, you can email me at bookingtaya@gmail.com. That is a major way to get in contact with me, and then just shout me and tell me you love me on Twitter and Facebook, and I'll shout you back and post a picture on Instagram or something. I don't know. I'm definitely a social media queen. I'm on social media from the time I wake up until I fall asleep. It's the world right now, and having a visual business like this, you definitely need to be a part of that.
Awesome. I definitely feel you. I'm the same way. I'm on, different social media sites, networking, knocking out these interviews. I got a goal to hit 200 interviews within the next, 6 months. I'm almost at 100. I feel like, once I get to 200, I'll get the respect that I deserve. But I think I need to get to 200, though. You know what I mean? I think quantity. Yeah, I'm going to do it. It's not a matter. It's when.
Right. No, I love your grind. That's really dope. It's really dope. And like I said, the questions are amazing. Another thing I didn't get to tell people is that I'm working on this great project for the New York Public Library right now. We're basically putting together a film program for them, or we've put together a film program for kids, I believe 12 to 18, and we're basically going to have them making films and commercials from scratch. So we've been hired by the New York Public Library to create this amazing program, giving back to kids, and it's just amazing, and that's another project that I'm really proud of. And aside from that, the West Side Story film and the EP, if you have not heard Tone Trump's West Side Story, you should download it now, and definitely look out for the videos and the movie dropping soon.
Yeah, I have a request. I need you to talk him into doing a video for another day. That we are
crazy. On it.
He needs a video for it.
We're shooting that next week. Actually, there will be a video for every track on that mixtape, and they will connect. They're all going to connect and tell one story, and that is the film. So you will get a song for everything on there.
Awesome.
I'm sorry. A video for everything on there. Yeah.
That's hot, and that's the society that we live in nowadays. You need visuals. You definitely need visuals. But it was an honor interviewing you. You're a cool, down to earth, lady. I got a lot of respect for you. I see your grind, and I just gotta take my head off and salute you.
Thank you so much, Kareem. I really appreciate you. I've appreciated this interview from the time you asked me to that great intro and to all these beautiful questions. So thank you, and I salute your grind.
You're welcome. Thank you. And this interview is adjourned.
Okay. I will wait.
You know I let them kiss it down low, but I gotta be sure that you ain't in it for the dough. Most chicks is in it for the show, but you seem to be different. I think you what I miss for sure. Missing you.